Hi guys, I'm going to take my Waterborne surf adapter, the new setup of my skateboard, onto my parking lot and learn how to ride on this setup. Let's go. Peace. So guys, hope you might have seen me riding at different posture and different places in my parking lot. So I'm going to share the first-hand experience in riding the Waterborne surf adapter setup with my skateboard. Right, so the first and foremost thing you will observe is, give me a second, let me pick up my Axela Curve 540 board longboard. So this longboard has a very large wheelbase. So the front wheel is the extreme end in the nose and the rear wheel is at the tail of the Axela Curve 540 board longboard. So the wheelbase is very large, so you have a lot of room to comfortably place your foot and pump. Alright, so you could do very hard pumping like this. I mean like moving your body, swinging it from left and right. Alright, so give me a second, let me pick up my new setup. So with the Waterborne surf adapter setup on the skateboard deck, so what you will find is a tail and a nose. So you have two kick tails at both ends, and the wheelbase is set up in such a way that it is at the bottom end of the each kick tails. So the wheelbase is shorter here. So this is what you need to remember before you go in for riding this setup. Alright, so skateboard deck setup is quite new for me, and I am a big size rider, and this is like 8-inch board, and for the foot on the width, and this is like 31.6 inches on the length. So with a shorter wheelbase, like this one is like probably 10-20 inches, got to be like 20 inches or so between these bottom end screws. So this is what you need to remember. This is very essential. The wheelbase is shorter on a skateboard deck, and your wheel moves accordingly. So guys, this is my Waterborne surf adapter, and you could see some mark here in the front. You know, this is a scar which occurred due to the board moving this way, I mean tilting this way, and got scratched by the floor. So this is a very essential part of the surf adapter, and you don't want to damage it or bend it, you know, so that will restrict the motion of this arm, so you don't want to do that. And it won't happen easily. It's a very sturdy build. So the reason for hitting the nose of the surf adapter is like, as I said before, this is having two kick tails at either ends, and this is placed at the nose, right? Obviously the front end. So when I was riding, or when I just climbed on the board, hopped on the board before riding, I had one of my foot here, and which is like very over the nose of the skateboard deck, and I had the back leg placed very well on the bottom end of the tail, I mean like top end of the tail. So what happened was like when I tried to brake the board, I mean brake in the sense like stop my riding, I put down my back leg on the floor to brake it. What happened was like my front leg was on the extreme end of the nose. It kind of tilted the board like this due to the body weight distribution, and the nose of the Waterborne surf adapter hit the floor. So you don't want to do that. So always remember, when you are hopping on your board, you place your leg on the place where you find the screws, you know, not more than that. You don't want to go onto the top end unless and until you are sure like you're not going to break anytime soon. You know, suppose you are on a very free road and free space, like that's when you don't want to, you know that you're not going to break anytime sooner. You can move your leg anywhere on the kick tail, I mean on the nose. By the time when you're when you know like you're going to break, you know, it's I totally advise you to bring down your foot to the screw place, you know, like on the flat ground, I mean the concave part of the skateboard deck. Okay, so remember that. So having a grip tape from tail to the nose, you know, like onto the complete surface of the skateboard deck provides you a very strong grip, being shorter width for you to place your foot here, and it's also having a concave shape. I hope you could see it, the curve. So this is also helping a lot when you're going to make your turns, you know, like the Waterborne surf adapter would move and hit the, hope you can see it, it has some braking spots here for the arm to stop, you know, otherwise it will go round and round, you know, like, so they have this setup so that it will hit and stop there, it will go here and hit and stop there. So it goes to the extreme ends from left and right. So that's why this part of the design in the adapter is very important. So when you're making your turns to the extreme, so your board is going to lean like this way too much, hitting the spot, and you'll be swinging left or right, like that to the ends, so by then the grip tape is providing me a very good stability on holding my foot onto the board properly. So the grip tape is really helping me, but you need to be very careful on the weight distribution. So guys, probably you just saw a video where I fall down while making a right turn in my parking lot. So the main reason for the fall is because I had my back foot on the extreme end of the tail and kick tail, and I had my front foot on a proper place, probably below the nose on the screw or where the adapter was. Okay, the front leg was proper, probably this way or this way, and I had my back foot on the extreme end of the tail. But main reason for the fall is the weight distribution. When I was making a turn, as I said earlier, the adapter would have moved this way, giving me a more leaning angle, and even my body was leaning onto the right. So that's how you pump, right? So I was leaning onto the right. By the time I was making a turn, the reason for the fall was my front leg was also leaning onto the right, and I had my back leg on the tail, which was also leaning onto the right. I had a very good grip on my board, but the reason for the fall is the weight distribution. So when I was making a right turn, I moved my weight onto my back leg too much. Since this is a skateboard, it has kick tail on both ends, onto the nose, onto the tail. So when I moved my weight too much onto my back leg, it lifted the board and I fell. So it's always important for you to keep your weight in the center of your board. Do not move it too much onto your front leg, or do not move it or too much onto your back leg. since it has kicktails on both ends, it will lift the board. If you can manage to, keep your balance, like moving it back properly, that's fine. But you may not have control all the time when you're making turns. So that's what I learned today on my first-hand experience while making my turn. It's not the first fall, I would say, but this time it was on a casual, unexpected note actually. So always remember, keep your weight onto the center of the board. Don't move it too much onto your front leg, or don't move it too much onto your back leg. Alright, and imagine if this would have happened on the Indian actual traffic road conditions, so there will be vehicles, people will be walking, you don't want to happen on Indian roads actually, particularly. So be careful about your weight distribution, okay, and do not do that mistake which what I did. So out of all the learning and practice of Waterborne surf adapter today on my skateboard deck setup, these are things which I would put it in the short list. It's like I have to remember, like, the wheelbase is shorter, the skateboard deck setup is taller because of the Waterborne surf adapter, and I have to watch for my weight distribution, and always remember to keep my front leg below the nose. And the most a satisfying part of this Waterborne surf adapter practice was, like, it is effortless. You don't have to strain yourself too much to pump this board. It's completely effortless, and particularly you might have seen me riding in the flat grounds, so on my parking lot, so the pumping action is completely effortless, and like you don't have to strain yourself too much, like even your leg movement like this would actually pump and move the board forward, so that's what I learned, and it was really a great experience for me. So as I said earlier, so always do some practice that increases your confidence before you take them onto your roads, for a ride or something, for recreation or anything. So that's what I learned, and I would say I'm kind of confident, but I'm still feeling like I need more practice before I take my setup to the roads for long rides. So that's it. Peace.